And we're away, I guess. I don't know. Has the stream started? Starting.
Oh.
Well, my phone says it's 8 o'clock.
It's still just wanting to show me Don's last work.
Yeah. How do streamers cope when they don't have people helping them?
No idea.
How are we this fine Saturday morning, Matty?
Slightly confused.
Reminds me of Highlander, where he says, "What does baffled mean?" Yep.
So yeah, it's still not gone live.
Weird.
I imagine that, all of this will end up in the YouTube version because you're still recording.
I am. Wow. Don was saying that he was having trouble with Twitch, so...
Oh, hang on, it's just kicked over now.
There you go. Just have to close the door. Hang on. And then apparently I have to stand on my headphone cord. It just seems to be one of these things.
It's a ritual.
So what did we do last week? I think we were doing characters.
That's right.
I think it might have been this guy. I think it was this guy.
Blue Skirt was one of them. Sword Dude was midweek of the previous week.
Was it this one?
No.
See, this is what happened.
It was the fourth one, the guy with the staff.
Ah, the guy with the staff. So these two.
Yeah.
Sandor and Saragon or something. What was really unfortunate, and I only discovered this after I'd finished painting him, was that this guy here, the gentleman of the darker skin, was unfortunately named something the Black. And I went, I might just leave that suffix off. I assume it was supposed to refer to perhaps his nature, or perhaps his
probably
outlook on life, or maybe even his take on politics, but certainly not skin colour. So that's my bad.
Oh dear. That's a problem for being creative.
The modern generation. Yeah. So these they're all individual product codes from RPE, and they're beautifully characterful figures. Yeah, they're in the characters range of the classic Demonworld. They're not in the U18 range.
I should spend more time browsing that catalogue. That's where I found some wonderful things.
Yes. And I learned something during the week, and that is that there were figures that were used to make up the initial Demonworld range that predated Demonworld, even version 1, that were produced by Hobby Products. And these came back as half-orcs as well as humans, I think. And they're in the warbands. So things like Sir Roderick's retinue in Blighthaven 15mm warbands, they were figures that predated Demonworld version 1. And there's also a set of half-orcs in the same section of the site. So
that's also where you'll find my beloved lizardman.
There, that's right. So it's not just in the U18 and the classic Demonworld ranges. There's also some awesome figures sitting down in that Blighthaven 15mm section. Although most of what comes in those warbands comes out of the Demonworld range, not all of it. So what we're going to do today is the Pikeman. I just managed to stab my Totoro. Never mind. That's not a euphemism either, by the way. I don't know if you can see that on long view. Hey, my inset's not working.
Oh yeah, no it's not.
It's not
so
working
these
at all.
pikemen have got the brown pants.
Yeah. Now why would that not be working? Technical difficulties.
Yeah, screw it, we're doing it live.
We are.
Was that Bill O'Reilly?
I don't know. Is it this one? Hey, we have an inset. Can you... No. See?
Oh,
Totoro.
the inset's back now.
Yep.
Nice shot.
Thanks. He's hanging on my tablet arm. I have a visitor this morning. I'm not sure what his name is. Call him Carl. I might just deposit him somewhere more friendly. Hang on. Kinds of amusement at interruptions this morning, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Never mind. So that's what we're going to work on today. These pikemen. What I need to clear out of the way is all of this Formula 1 junk. I've been struggling with this. It's very annoying. This is going to need quite a bit of touching up. Anyhow, moving on.
Oh dear, oh dear. There's nothing wrong with building Formula 1 cars, particularly when you need a break.
Yeah.
B-R-E-A-K. B-R-A-K-E.
Either.
One.
Either. But as I was pointing out to my partner last night, this particular sub-assembly, this particular sprue, is copyright 1977. So, believe me when I tell you that model kit fit and fitment has come a long way since then.
That's not flashing, that's part of it.
I don't know, I've had some Revel kits where there was some serious doubt about whether it was flashing or part.
Yeah, I seem to remember building a couple of planes that were like that.
Yeah.
All wing.
Yeah.
G'day, Todd. How you going?
Evening, morning.
Morning. Evening. Afternoon. Anyhow, I remember being better at assembling these Cosworth V8s. Memory is a kind thing. Get into it, I suppose. Who am I again? I can't use that. It's too noisy. So I failed a resistance roll yesterday. I was in the mode of purchasing for my partner's upcoming milestone birthday, and just kept hitting the buy button.
Are you going to tell us? Does she watch these streams to see what you're up to?
She knows what she's getting because she asked for them, but as far as what I bought for myself is concerned, I am soon to be the proud owner of the complete set of Army Painter air paints.
Fair enough.
Just exactly where I am going to put 150 paint pots, I don't know.
Nature finds a way.
Yeah, I was going to say suspended shelving before Todd said that.
Well, let me tell you, if nature was going to come up with anything, it wouldn't be suspended shelving.
Yeah, that's why I was going to say it, because when nature finds a way, I'm usually talking about gravity.
Exactly right. And it usually has the effect on the suspended shelving. Crash.
I see you're wearing the topic of our conversation's shirt today.
I am. First edition. That was pure accident too, by the way. It just happened to be the next t-shirt out of the drawer.
Mad at both you and Ross for putting those ideas in my head so that I was up at 3 a.m. thinking about them.
Well, I can only control the idea as it's coming out. I can't control what you do with it. Someone would argue that I can't even control the idea coming out, but that aside.
But luckily I don't have time to really mess with any of that right now, so. But it can sit there and brew in the dark recesses of my mind as I finish up Interceptor.
Yep. What are you finished
painting today?
Pikeman.
Ah.
It's very topical because we've been arguing about the effect that pole arms have.
On your infantry squares?
Yes. The infantry squares. I attempted to make a couple of points yesterday that I think you guys just completely missed.
Probably. In fairness to me, I was trying to concentrate on other things. Unsuccessfully, my brain was seeking distraction.
Well, unsuccessful is good. So what's on for the weekend, Todd?
Writing Interceptor.
You're not gaming tonight?
Yeah, actually we are. Vampire again. Biting things.
Biting things.
Exciting things. Maybe even biting things.
Exciting biting.
Yeah.
We wouldn't want dull biting now, would we?
Be hard
It'd
to
just
bite
make a horrible mess.
Yeah. We call that chewing.
Vampire the masticate.
This is a clean channel. There'll be none of that here.
No masticating, we're British. You gotta love the English language.
It has its ups and downs.
Even in its simplified form.
Yeah.
What about you, Matty? What do you got on?
For this weekend, I just found out that my regularly scheduled game has been cancelled.
Oh, bugger.
So I guess I might find time to paint. Or more likely, try to edit and then get distracted.
Right.
Because I certainly tried to do that last night, and I made it about 3 seconds, and yeah, that was it.
You got distracted.
Mm-hmm. What I did was I opened a cheap bag of glazed mints, just expecting to, have a little pick-me-up and a treat for being a good boy. Then I proceeded to just, eat them all.
Demolish them.
And there's no editing done. I'm like, no, I'm a bad boy. I may as well just say, screw it, I'm going to bed.
Right.
I did manage to get something for release on Sunday, though, so, look forward to that.
That is excellent, and I am. I'll need to watch the last one then. Listen.
So, is this Unit 2 or Unit 3 of Pikeman?
1.
Really?
Yeah, because all the others were noble pikemen.
Okay.
So these are just vanilla pikemen.
Vanilla Pikeman.
Yep. Ice, ice, baby.
While I absolutely was thinking that, I certainly wasn't going to say it.
There you go. Apparently
I was just mostly thinking about what your accent colour would be to differentiate units. Now that I know they're vanilla ones, may I suggest white?
You may.
And then brown and pink.
Because 90s bad rap?
No. Vanilla chocolate strawberry.
Oh, right. Neapolitan.
Napoleonian.
That too. If you're into...
You could absolutely play Napoleonics with these.
You could. I was going to say, if you wanted short, angry ice cream.
Short, angry ice cream. I think there's a brand in there somewhere.
It's the food you indulge in while you are rage painting ponies.
I'm thinking something along the lines of a little chip and sensor in the bottom that starts yelling at you when you've eaten it all.
Yes.
Oh, you're a bad person for eating so much ice cream, you big fat so-and-so.
Do we need something to tell us that? I mean,
yeah, because we keep doing it.
I already know that.
We keep doing it, though. That's the problem.
And what you want to do is I'm afraid if you want to actually sell that product, is you want to have a chip in the bottom of it that when you get to the end, it plays a random jingle.
Just while on insulting customers, I remember, I think it was a tin of roses or something similar, which are, a chocolate assortment that you can get. And this particular one had little jokes printed on the inside of the wrappers.
Mm-hmm.
I remember picking one up, and it had on it, "She who laughs last didn't get the joke."
Right.
And I'm thinking, that's a great way to just insult your customers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why would you even put that there?
Somebody in the marketing department had a bad review or a bad day or both.
Okay, fair enough.
You know about Top Gear, Matty?
Do I know about Top Gear?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So, you know who James May is then?
Absolutely.
And you know James May got himself sacked as a motoring journalist from a motoring magazine at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how he managed to get sacked by doing that?
No, I don't.
Okay, right. He Easter egged an article, except it was pretty obvious. I think it was a set of text, but if you read the first letter of each line of the text, it said something along the lines of so-and-so sucks or so-and-so, yes, was insulting to his boss, basically. And nobody caught it before it went out, I think. Or maybe they did catch it and it didn't go out. Anyhow.
I'm not sure that's worthy of being sacked for.
Apparently they thought so at the time.
It's a random cosmic coincidence.
A million monkeys and a million typewriters.
I'm just remembering a classic from the Australian opinion columnist Tim Blair. There was a bloke who was gaining notoriety for saying pro-Islamic things in a very public way.
Right.
And he got himself in trouble for some reason or other. And Blair wrote a column about it. And in the midst of the column was it needs setup. The bloke who the column was about was a guy named Furkan Derya, Furkanderya.
Right.
I Furkan Derya to find a better name than Furkan Derya.
Right.
Made it bang smack in the middle of this piece.
Yeah,
It's a
right.
standalone paragraph.
Yeah. Gold.
And Twitter had a meltdown. Oh my
Right.
god, they didn't edit it. Surely
Maybe.
this is a joke that got through. Except it was absolutely deliberate.
Yeah,
And he
right.
continued to use the line every single time he wrote about that bloke.
Right.
I Furkan Derya to find a better name than Furkan Derya.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about the news?
I don't know.
Chocolate.
Because
That's right.
Todd hasn't finished Interceptor yet, I think. Or maybe he has.
The rules, other than the edits.
Right. Well, the edits have started. Presumably. So you're fluffing away this weekend, are you?
By that you mean writing the setting stuff, yes.
Gotta love English.
Fluffing has a different meaning here.
Oh,
maybe
no.
it has the same meaning there, but...
Oh, it certainly does. Did you have the children's books about Nip and Fluff?
No, but I heard the one about hookers and blow.
Yeah, the rest of it I wasted.
Well, that was after they saved Christmas.
Right. I once had a pair of cats called Seek and Destroy.
Now, those are good names.
They were the most accurate names of any cats you've ever seen. How up are you on your modern fantasy authors? Either of you?
No.
No. Todd? Too much fantasy
What's that?
reading?
I do not.
There you go. Well, this conversational topic was DOA. Moving on.
Give us a try.
I don't get much time for reading anymore. Is there a good author you're going to recommend?
Well, maybe that's where the conversational path goes. Because I believe there is. Anyhow, there's I think he's an English gentleman by the name of Joe Abercrombie. And some time ago he produced a trilogy of novels. Well, I've just painted the sleeve and I didn't want to paint the sleeve. The trilogy of novels is called the First Law Trilogy.
I have the audiobooks of that.
Have you? Have you
It was
listened to
recommended.
them?
No, I haven't.
No, right. I can't recommend them highly enough. The writing is excellent, and the guy that does the dramatization is spectacularly good. They are incredibly entertaining to listen to, even if the text was crap. The guy narrating it would have been excellent, but unfortunately for us, the text isn't crap.
What's the series?
The First Law series.
First Law.
Yeah, the first book is called The Blade Itself.
Aha. Found it. Let's see if they have this on the old listen to it audio. There we go.
So anyhow, conversational hook was, there's a character in it called Logan, which my current cat is named after.
You keep doing that.
Naming
things after fantasy book characters.
Yes, well, my son's name
Cat's
is Eddard.
sons.
It's because I have no imagination of my own. I just steal other people's names.
Names are hard.
They are.
That's how I ended up with my awful name.
Your parents either went the safe path or a well-trodden route.
Both. I'm so glad I turned Bush to talk on.
Anyhow, there's a number of follow-up books to the First Law trilogy, which I also highly recommend.
Yeah, there's another trilogy of recent years.
Yeah,
The Age of Madness.
Yep. I think he's only just finished it.
Yeah, it came out September last year.
Yeah. I'm only one book into that. Unfortunately for Joe Abercrombie, we ended up with COVID and I stopped commuting a long way, which meant I stopped listening to audiobooks in the car. So I haven't been listening regularly since then. I bought them all because I've got an Audible subscription, but I just haven't listened to them.
So, what do you do when you're painting by yourself, not with us? Do you listen to things then? Or, okay.
YouTube. Yeah, I listen to your work, and amongst other things.
I would find it a great time for listening to audiobooks. That's what I do. It's not gonna. Well, it might come. You're spending as long at the desk, as you would be behind the wheel, if not longer. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, it works. Oh, no doubt. My problem is that there are a million other things to watch on YouTube.
Well, watch it on YouTube and listen to the books. You're using different senses.
I don't tend to.
They need not overlap.
I don't tend to watch the YouTube stuff, though. I tend to listen to it.
Fair enough.
I'm on a Formula 1 kick at the moment. Retro.
They have kind of sucked all the fun out of the modern.
Yeah, everybody says that, but everybody said it at the time too. I remember watching, I'm at the 2002 season at the moment, and I remember everybody whinging about how dominant Ferrari was and how boring it is, and how there's no overtaking, and they need to do something about it. And I was listening to somebody talk about modern Formula 1 last year, and they were talking about how boring it is because Mercedes is dominating and they can't overtake and they need to do something about it. And I'm like, there's a pattern here. 20 years apart. I don't think it was better in the past. I think people have rose-tinted glasses.
cars look cooler, though.
Oh, yeah. I can't deny that. The modern stuff all looks the same to me. Like, you can only tell them apart by the paint jobs.
The race rules are so exacting now that they're determining everything, and the cars are identical, and it's just driver skill.
Virtually.
Or rather, the skill of the pit crews and the race controllers and all that.
Yeah.
Who tell them when to come in.
Whereas, let's say for argument's sake, you go and look at the 1977 season, and you go and have a look at the grid in 1977, and you look at the shape and the variety of shapes of cars. I mean, you've even got a car in there that has 6 wheels.
Personal favourites. I mean, that is just the epitome of cool, though.
It is. Okay, so it was a technological dead end, but it was still cool.
Bert Rutan's planes, just to get into the air for a second. His stuff looks cool. It's going nowhere. It still looks cool.
Whose?
Bert Rutan, the pioneering aviation engineer designer.
Oh, right.
Comes up with weird planes. Look him up. I'm sure you'll have seen some of his stuff before. Death Race 2000. Did you ever see that movie?
Nope.
Too bad. One of his planes feature in it.
Too bad that I haven't seen it, or too bad as a description of the movie?
I mean, also yes.
I'm sorry, but a movie with that title is not going to be A-grade.
Brian Carradine and Sylvester Stallone in a transcontinental road race where you get points for running over people. It's a political satire. It's a great movie. I watched it again the other night.
Is it political satire or is it documentary?
No. It's a political satire.
Right.
Well, when it was written, it was. Now it's kind of, like Idiocracy. You thought they were just joking.
I wasn't going to say that.
We all laughed, 20 years ago.
And
the world could never be like that.
Yep.
And the world said, hold my beer.
Yep.
Had a young girl come through the store on Tuesday. She was picking up some required reading books. And
school.
One of them... School.
Yeah.
I guess she was going into grade 12 by the look of her.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, one of the books she picked up was 1984. And I saw her checking it out, and I just couldn't help but say to her, now remember, Orwell didn't design this book as a manual. She just looked at me absolutely, stone-faced, had no idea what's going on.
Nope.
And the woman on the counter, who was a former teacher, just cracked up laughing.
Because she gets it. Yep. It's like Games Workshop having to come out and say, look people, 40k Universe is satire. Stop taking it seriously. It isn't a manifesto.
Oh, we've had that conversation before.
Mm-hmm.
Politics really is circular. Just like our conversations.
So, if you're going to be painting and not eating bags of mints, what are you going to be painting?
Bloody mounted knights of the cleansing dark. Still. I think I need to block in the colours of the lances, and that's about it.
Right.
And I can start thinking about fine details and shading and the rest. Oh, and horse socks.
Horse socks. James isn't here yet.
No, neither's Clay.
No,
He still hasn't changed his alarm.
I think Mr. Cleese
What do you bet he's going to
quite
show
unwell.
up in 20 minutes?
No, I
is
think
he?
he's quite unwell.
What's the matter with him? Did he finally catch it?
Think so. I'm not 100% sure. That is a rumour. It is only a rumour. I haven't been in contact with him, so I don't know. I myself had the last 2 days of this week away from work, so I don't know.
I didn't think it existed that far north.
It exists everywhere.
Oh, but this is the problem with Queensland. Everything is Brisbane.
Oh, if you say so.
Oh, I do. Yeah, like... Okay, so I live in a state that's 4 times bigger than Texas, with 85% of the population concentrated in one city, in the southeast corner, and no one goes anywhere else. Outside of that city, COVID hasn't existed full stop, aside from a couple of airports and the immediate area around them. I honestly didn't think that it was in Noosa.
Well, it certainly is. Well, it's certainly rumoured to be. Again, I haven't confirmed it. So I hope he's okay.
As do we all.
Hey, speaking of which, Todd, have you sorted anything out with Kyle yet?
I have not. I have been a little too busy, unfortunately.
Okay.
This weekend I have to do a lot of driving, so I'm not sure I'm going to get there. Next weekend I'm in a class all weekend, so I'm going to have to see if he's available a night after work or something.
You can't just get him to pull it all out and take photographs and send the photographs.
He could do that, if you know. I'm okay with that, and then I can help identify everything.
That sounds like it'd be a whole lot easier, wouldn't it?
At this point, yes. Life has become extremely busy.
Wouldn't be putting any pressure on, except that I'm under pressure myself.
Well, yeah, I get it.
I have
Let us send him an email.
3 weeks to make a decision about what we're going to do with the box set. Although, after yesterday's conversation, that might have been alleviated, but I'm not counting on it.
Box set of?
Demonworld.
Oh. Thinking about doing that?
Yeah.
No, that'd be cool. We need to do like the Kingdom box, where like every unit in the Kingdom is available in the box, and it comes in like a shipping, container delivered to your house. Here is your army of 500,000 dudes.
The Emperor's army at a 1-to-1 figure scale. Yes, please refer to the sort of back end of yesterday's conversation as to why that isn't going to happen.
Oh, well, I know it's not going to happen. It would be funny.
Well, it's even funnier.
Box didn't look that big on the website.
I promise, it said jewellery.
It is precious metals.
It is. Although in this case we're actually talking about plastics.
Ooh. Oh, that's different.
It is. I'm just assuming you can all see what I'm doing.
Yep. The figure you're currently working on in the video image was in the bottom left hand of the screen. But it's beautifully centered on the insert.
Yeah, right. I have some new brushes turning up. They're even threatening to deliver them tomorrow. But, not counting those chickens.
Where are these brushes from? Are these more mod effects ones?
No. Sadly, I gave Jeff Bezos some more money. They're 10 brushes, $36, Kolinsky Sable. So, well,
yeah, okay, I can understand that.
They're saying Siberian mink, which is hopefully something similar. But it's like, I am tempted by a $28 brush, but only a little bit. I did actually go back to get some more of these Mod FX ones, but this is a size 0, and this is the one I need to replace, and they don't have any, they're out of stock. So it's not like I didn't try the local options first.
Well, I was mostly asking not because you're using it, but because I was just curious as to how they were.
Well, this one's driving me bonkers at the moment. I mean, it's done a lot of work. You guys have seen it do a lot of work, but it's doing the bad hair day impersonation, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've gotten a bit of that with my relatively new Valeos.
Yep.
The last ones I got, some is just
Yeah, well, it's not like my experience with the last 3 Citadel ones that I had, which were thoroughly useless straight out of the tube. So there is that.
Fair enough.
So we're putting those firmly in the category of never again. You know.
So I had a question.
Hmm.
Have you ever tried what the Ralph Arthur offering is on the sable brush, red sable brushes that they have for sale?
I have.
How are they?
They're reasonably good.
Because I'm thinking £1.75 for A brush isn't too bad.
No, it's pretty good. Don't expect the world. They're not world.
True.
But they're not bad. Certainly for that price, they're not bad.
Alright, well, my wife's almost home, so I need to go early today. So you guys have a good one.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
Yep.
Happy fluffing.
Yeah, woo! Yeah, it should be fun once I get into it. The hardest part is starting, you look at the giant task ahead of you, and it's like...
Yeah, you just got to remember that it's an elephant, and you've got to eat it.
Yeah. Alright, guys, have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend, Todd. Cheers.
Bye. Oh, I didn't need to see this.
See what?
Price increases at the end of February. Material prices have risen over 50% over the last 2 years, and we can't absorb the costs. Starting January, we're increasing prices by at least 10%.
Yep.
Fair enough, too, but that's not what I wanted to see.
Nope. It's not what anybody wants to see, ever. You just wonder whether or not they'll start falling again. If ever.
No.
No.
We may see some shrinkage in packet sizes, though.
Yeah.
You don't actually need 12 men. You can do with 10. Maybe 9, just so that you can get them on a base.
Sadly the base sizes will stay the same. So there'll be 12 in a packet. Just that packet may not be... What are they currently sitting at?
550
550
pounds.
So they might end up being
6 or 7.
6 or 7.
Which is still, pretty good price.
Yeah. From my perspective, if I'm paying $1 each, that's Australian, for 15mm figures, I think I'm doing okay.
I'll never forget those Highlanders and how I dilly-dallied over the order. And the price raise came in the day before I actually placed it.
Yep.
Ended up paying 25% more.
That hurts.
Yeah, I cut the cavalry right out of that order. Like, oh my god.
I don't know if you can see this.
You gotta do what you gotta do to stay in business.
Yeah. You gonna focus? No. If I do this, will it focus? Can you see what the tip of that's doing? Camera's having a heart attack, but...
The camera is having a heart attack, and it's like a 30-40 second delay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see it. Ugh. I just gotta say, though, your brushes are still in better condition than mine.
Here's some brush conditioner.
I am using an all-natural soap in my wash water.
Yeah?
Just as an experiment.
Did you end up finding a beard conditioner that you... It wasn't the beard you were having trouble with, though, was it? It was the mustache.
Oh, the mustache wax.
Hmm.
Yeah, I haven't gone out of my way looking for a mustache wax because I kind of trimmed it back shorter and I'm not really styling it as a handlebar anymore.
Right.
But, thanks for the reminder.
No, but it's just going to say those natural hair care products work on natural hair, and if you're using natural hair brushes, they might be worth a try.
Unfortunately, most of my brushes are synthetics at the moment.
Yeah, right. Well, they do you no good at all. As in the hair care products on synthetic brushes.
They smell good, but that's about it. Oh, good heavens. Oh, you haven't been hearing my yawns.
No, because you're on push to talk.
Exactly. There have been a lot of them, though.
Push to yawn?
I wouldn't do that to you.
So how come game was cancelled?
Well, you know Max, of course.
Hmm.
And you know that living situation where there's a whole bunch of people living in that household.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 2 of them are moving out. They're actually moving over James's way to Ohio.
Oh, right.
In the next 2 weeks. So basically packing and spending time together as a family. And
right, okay.
So yeah, that's fair enough, I think.
It is.
Just, forgot to say anything about it ahead of time. And that's also fine, because people get busy.
Yep. All right. Oh dear, oh dear. I start shaking the paint and I get cracking all the way up my arm, starting in my fingers, going through my wrist and into my elbow.
Well, that's not much fun. I know how that feels.
Welcome to being old.
The shame of it is we're not that old.
Yep.
We just feel like it.
Yep. Oh, this isn't going to go well.
So are you actually doing the highlight colours wide, or is that covering a sin?
I don't know where I'm going to do the highlight colours on these. It's like they don't have any feathers or anything.
Doesn't that guy have something sticking out of the back of his hat?
This
Yeah, like there's something.
that's a leather cap underneath his tin hat. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to do with them. I'll just ponder that as I make a mess of everything else.
I guess you don't have to. You could just have one giant massed formation of uniformly painted pikemen.
Yeah. Just trying to figure out if that was a nose guard or he was somehow overly nasally endowed.
Or fitted with a prosthetic.
That too.
I'm just thinking of Queen Elizabeth and Blackadder too. I have to cut off her nose because it's so pretty. Then it'd be, ew, yuck. About Kate.
Right.
Yeah.
Bob.
Obviously, Bob. Yeah.
I've had that conversation a couple of times in the last 12 hours. My partner met one of our neighbours on the street. They were discussing dogs. Turned out said neighbour's name is Kate, and I've referred to as Bob ever since.
God.
I can't help it. It's one of the most genuinely funny pieces of television I've ever seen.
It is very good. Yes, I think all things considered, it's very good that this game was being postponed for today.
Yeah.
Because I'm about ready to fall over.
Well, don't do that.
No, I won't. In fact, I'm going to make a cup of coffee if you can spare me for a minute.
Oh, please, caffeinate away.
Oh, I said make. I won't drink it for probably half an hour.
Right. You're going to make...
I've only just finished the one I made. It's about 10 to 7.
Right.
It's quite cold.
Iced coffee.
Yeah. Back in a minute.
No worries.
Okay, there we go.
That was quick.
I said it would only be a minute.
Yeah.
Your electric kettles tend to boil very fast when there's not much water in them.
Right. Right up until the point where there's no water in them, then they do really bad things.
But that's why they have auto shut-offs.
And tip-over switches and all sorts of safety things, because in the past, they weren't that good.
I don't think I've ever tipped one over. I didn't realise that there was a safety mechanism in place for that. Unless it's just, breaking contact with
The base.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's it. I had a heater that had a tip-over safety switch in it.
Well, that makes sense.
Uh-oh.
Count 40 and wait for it to show up on stream. Okay, so it's been a bit. What was the uh-oh in aid of? Oh, okay. Incidentally, I don't hear you coming through anymore.
Oh, I haven't said anything.
Oh. Okay.
I'm biting my tongue because...
Yeah. We all saw it.
Yeah. And it behaved itself for about 10 seconds and now it's back again. No boots today?
No, I just haven't. Well, I didn't even wear them at all this week that gone by, to be honest.
Oh, really?
So embarrassed.
Oh, right. It's a lot of work.
It is. And they need a lot of work currently. I did pick up a new tin of parade glass, but yeah, just not feeling it this morning.
Maybe after the third coffee.
No, by the time I have third coffee, I hope to be either painting or editing.
Right.
Might do them tomorrow. Yeah, I just didn't wear my boots at all. I've been stomping around in my dangerous to Toe's warehouse workplace just in sneakers, and I'm like, oh my god, thank god no one said anything to me. Because otherwise I might have had to have strangled them.
Oh, yeah. I had to throw a pair of walking shoes away a few weeks ago because I'd gone through the sole of them, and the pavement was eating away at the rubber insole. So they were done. All right, I had as much wear out of them as I could possibly get out of them. I'm really, I don't know, quite stingy with shoes. I tend not to
should be.
very
Decent
many.
pair of shoes are pretty expensive.
No,
You want to get use out of them.
They are. So these were a pair of Merrill mids. And I'd had a previous set of Merrills, and I'd had a lot of trouble with them. I was a bit sort of dubious about getting another set, but they were on special, so I went, oh well. If these are shit, then at least I didn't pay top price for them, and I'll put them in the bin and never buy any ever again. But these mids, look, conservatively, I got somewhere between 2,500 and 3,000 kilometres out of them.
That's pretty good.
So I figure that's not too bad. And you know, they were a good pair of shoes, but they were absolutely had it. But at the same time I bought that pair, I bought another pair of the low top. There's still a hiking style shoe, just low top, not mid top. But I thought I'd broken them in, you know, because I used to wear the mid tops for walking, and I used to wear the low tops to go out, and I thought I'd been out enough that I'd broken the low tops in, and it turns out it wasn't the case. I did a long walk in them a couple of weeks ago and ended up very sore, bad blisters on both feet, and so I've been working my way back up to big walks again cautiously to make sure that these shoes will support the activity. Anyhow, I finally did a full length one last night, and I'm a little bit sore, but no blisters, which is a heck of a lot better. But, in the meantime, I've bought another set of mids. I've got to start breaking them in. So between the shoes and the weather, I haven't been doing as much walking as I wanted to.
How has your weather been?
It's been awful.
It's been awful here too.
Yeah. Neither of the two of us living here can remember a summer as humid as early. And January is normally just dry and hot. The early part of February is the same. But no, not this year. She's been a pea super. We've had... The last couple of days have been pretty good, actually. Cool and a breeze and, you know, sort of low to mid-20s. So that's really been nice. But certainly not the norm this year, that's for sure. And we're heading, I think today's high 20s or low 30s, and we're just heading into the same pattern again, more and more and more humid.
That's not very fun at all.
Nope. Not enjoying it.
It's been very similar up here, actually.
Hmm.
Wednesday in particular was deathly brutal.
Yeah.
Because it was high temperature and 100% humidity.
Yeah.
Or more like 105. Seriously, it was a
nasty.
I had Wednesday off and I was sitting here, ceiling fans on, air conditioning on.
Yeah.
Trapped off from the world, and I could still feel the heat.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yep. I hear. It's a bit ugly.
There was a big storm on Thursday afternoon, though, because Thursday was shaping up to be the same, and then the big storm rolled in about 1 o'clock.
Yeah, right.
And since then, it's actually been pretty good.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, Friday was fairly pleasant. A little bit of rain, not much, and not that hot, and not that humid.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we've had.
Comparatively speaking.
It's really nice when the weather
80%.
breaks. Yeah.
Yeah.
80% in Brisbane's quite low.
Yes, it is. Death Valley at 8.
No. Whereas normally we sort of truck around the 30 to 40 mark. So when it's, high 70s and it's in the low 30s.
Very unpleasant.
We're just not used to it, so it's very unpleasant. This thing has had it. The question is, what size is that? Oh, look, it's an O. Let's see if I get any better luck out of this one. Another thing I want to do is get myself those Army Painter speed paints. Just try them out.
Yeah, well, when you were saying earlier that you'd purchased yourself some presents for Joe's birthday, and you said Army Painter, and I immediately thought the next word would be speed paint. I was a little surprised to hear you say dries.
No, they were the airs.
Oh, airs. Sorry.
Yeah, all for the airbrush. Yeah.
Still, I thought that, I was thinking, yeah, he's picked up a set of speed paints. Because...
Not yet. It is the intention. Oh, this one's going to do exactly the same thing. You can't get the complete speed paint sets yet in Australia. They're only offering the starter set, which I think is 10 pots, and I think they're $88 plus postage. So figure $7.50 postage. What does that work out to be? 95.5. So now you've ended up with 18mm pots of paint at $9.50 each versus contrast paints at I think they currently retail at about $11.50 or $12 each.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. So, people in reviews have been talking about the fact that these things are good and they're half the price. Well, no, not in Australia, they're not. Not half the price. But I wonder how much cheaper the complete set is or will be versus the starter set.
Knowing this country, not at all.
Probably not. And you know what that means? It just means that Jeff Bezos is going to get more money. I understand that we want to be supporting local retailers and all that kind of stuff. It's a good thing because having a strong local, hobby scene is a very good thing. But like the complete air paint set, I paid effectively $572, I think. Yeah, let's say $572. Then the nearest I could get it from a local source would have been $657.
Now, there's a lot of different economic thoughts running around my head.
Yeah. But it's like, I tend not to sweat 10% when it's under $100. I tend not to worry about it. But, when you...
10% of $1,000 is a different story.
It's a very different story. Oh, goodness me. Look at this. Wait for that to show up in the stream.
Yeah, I've seen that before. In a brand new brush.
Yeah. Well, you've seen I've used it on 2 figures. So
that's practically brand new.
Yeah. And it's split and it's
Maybe they just had a bad day at the Matty FX plant when they were making all these size 0 brushes.
Yeah, maybe. But look, I don't know if there's any coming back from that. I don't know if that's ever going to shape.
Do you? Oh, you got yourself a very small dry brush.
Oh, these things don't stand up to dry brushing.
No, they don't.
Yeah, you absolutely have to have the right hair for that. This thing is absolutely just gone nuts. Like, this is worse than what it replaced.
Yes. Yes, it is. God. It'll start dropping bristles in a second too, now that you've pulled a couple out.
Yeah. I've got to go back to the one I was using before. Very disappointing. channel Gary Oldman from The Fifth Element.
You know, I've still never seen all of that movie. I've seen snippets of it, I've seen bits and pieces, but I've never seen it start to finish.
One of the funniest scenes in cinema history, as far as I'm concerned.
Also, The Sound of Music.
Oh, well, those two things don't compare at all. No.
Yeah,
just
but
that
the difference is that I've made about 40 attempts at The Sound of Music over the years.
I have a pathological hatred for musicals.
I guess I can respect that.
I don't know that there's anything to respect about it. It's just a choice.
Depends on the subject matter for me.
Whether it's a musical or not.
Whether I can enjoy it and tolerate it.
I've always wondered why Mel Brooks never went ahead with the Hitler on Ice project.
Oh dear, it's either a fantastic joke set up or something I would have dearly loved to have seen.
I get the feeling it was just a gag, but you know, it's like it's one of those gags. Oh, maybe that could have worked. Maybe. Was that History of the World Part 1? Might have been. The memory's a bit foggy. Plenty of quotable quotes out of that movie. They're my people. I love them. Pull. Drop like a stone.
Yes, I should probably watch the Producers at some point.
I've never seen that.
The Springtime for Hitler on Ice production would have been pretty funny. I gotta tell you, the second cup of coffee's not helping. And sure enough, it's 8:30, which means I made it about 30 minutes ago.
Right.
Where does the time go? You're just too much fun, Dan.
One brush stroke at a time. Or one complete catastrophic brush failure at a time, according to this morning's efforts. The
also, yes.
the metal on these is a little bit tedious. There's quite a bit of it. It's quite fiddly. Itchy face.
Yeah, I'm a little itchy today. I know we don't really need to hear that, but, you know, it's just scratching my neck. Scratching my hands a fair bit.
We got our dog back too.
Okay.
Well, she got spayed 2 weeks
ago.
ago.
Oh, right. Yes.
And she said to wear a collar. And the collar drove her berserk, and her behaviour was getting worse and worse and worse. And stitches come out, collar comes off, freedom to run around and blow off steam and all that kind of stuff. She stopped being angry, petulant teenager and has gone back to being fun and frivolous.
Oh, that's nice.
We were a bit concerned there that it was going to change her behaviour, like, permanently. But it didn't, thankfully. There were more than a few crosswords had during that period of time.
Oh, what could you do, though? You had to get things taken care of.
Well, it's the right thing to do. In fact, actually, it's a condition of purchase from the breeder that you do. So, it's a legal contract.
Why am I not surprised?
When you consider that
several $1,000 animal, female. Exactly.
Several thousand. Try 5. Yeah. The last litter went for $5,000 each.
Several is 3 to 5.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple is 2 to 3, and several is 3 to 5.
Well, because Willow is partially deaf, we didn't pay for her. Beyond the original deposit, but a pretty lucrative thing if you've got pure breeding animals and you happen to have a breed that is popular and there's a waiting list, etc., etc.
Yep.
And I'm not against it. It's like, if you pay, a substantial sum of money for an animal, you're a heck of a lot less likely to mistreat it.
Well, as long as you're getting the animal for yourself and your family and not for someone else.
Yeah, this is true.
I really dislike people who buy animals for other people as gifts.
Gifts, yeah. Here, have a responsibility test.
Yeah, one that they don't want to take in the first place. That's why I don't think children should have pets.
I think if a children wants a pet badly enough and they're prepared to work to get it and to have it and to keep it, then it's a good thing. It teaches them some very good life lessons. But you don't just buy a child a pet for the sake of the child having a pet.
Mm.
And start with an insect farm. Because if you can't keep the insects alive, there's no point attempting to do it with something bigger.
I probably learned all the wrong lessons from my own childhood pet ownership.
Right.
But it's also made me self-aware enough to not have children.
I know I'd learned that lesson. It's okay. My kid survived me. It's fine. Well, one of them is even turning into a very fine adult.
That's all you can hope for.
All I really hope for is that they're happy. Can't do much about the rest. Wow. That's the other problem with having cooling systems running all the time, particularly the evaporative system. Blows a lot of crap around the house.
I haven't told you about the air conditioning installation, have I?
Well, I knew that it happened.
Right, so Wednesday I mentioned big storm.
Yeah.
Right? I happened to be home, and so I went out and had a look at the air conditioning installation.
Mm.
The guys put the outlet pipes and ran them into the stormwater downpipes.
Right.
Now, somewhere in the middle of the backyard, the stormwater pipe is broken. There's roots growing into the system.
Yes.
It's not totally blocked off, but it is blocked off enough. And this was a sufficiently torrential downpour, something like 20 mil in 10 minutes.
Yes.
That the stormwater system was being completely overwhelmed, and it was shooting up out of the ground in one place and shooting up out of the outlets where the downpipes
go into the ground.
where the aircon runoff pipes were cut into the downpipes.
Right. Okay.
And not sealed back over, so it was fountaining up out of those.
Great.
Directly into the systems. And one of them, it was sufficiently strong that it was actually running all the way up through it and coming back inside the house.
Great.
The rainwater was dripping inside the house through the AC vents. And also leaking into the plasterboard walls because they didn't weatherproof the hole that they cut in the wall so that they could mount the damn thing. So that's going to be a nice little repair job.
Yes. I would suggest that you be out there with a caulking gun.
I think that whole section of plasterboard is going to have to be replaced.
Bugger. But at least...
You're not supposed to poke it and it be soft.
No. That's not a good sign. So, along those lines, I don't know if I've ever related this story before, but when it rains very heavily here, we have a very similar problem.
Yes, your silt trap was never maintained.
Yeah, so we sorted all of that out. Anyhow, we got a plumber out, and the plumber brought his drain snake, a properly industrially strength powered one. And it took him nearly an hour to unblock the stormwater pipe. And after he managed to unblock it, he put his camera back down and had a look. And it appears that there are roots growing in the stormwater outlet, as in the one that's maintained by the council.
Oh, great. They'll never fix that.
So he's not allowed to do any work in there. So I'm going to have to dig a hole next to the outlet and replumb on the property side. So on our property side, I'm going to have to replumb into it an inspection port so that we can clear it.
What the hell do you pay rates for anyway?
Yes, one wonders. But anyhow.
What are your rates like, if you don't mind my asking? Are they absurd or are they reasonable?
I'm not sure how to categorise that.
Okay, Brisbane City Council rates, quarter acre block are about $3.80 a quarter. Logan City Council, the next city south of Brisbane, same size block, is about $1,100.
A quarter?
A quarter.
Yeah, okay. $1,100 a quarter is what I would consider absurd. $4,400 a year for a quarter acre block is ridiculous. I think we're on a fairly small block. I think this block is only just over or just under 600. And I think we're at 2.2 or 2.5, something like that. Low mid twos. Yeah.
Wow. I thought that, you'd have really, really high rates. Because Melbourne.
Yeah, and it's funny, depending on where you are in Melbourne, yeah, absolutely, you suffer really high rates, but not here, it's hysterical, because we're in the flash end of Froville. We're in the snobs end. We're tucked away in a little pocket in the southeast corner, which is sort of cut off by Wellington Road and Stud Road. So we're sort of separated from the main body of the suburb, and it's supposed to be the flash area. There is a lot of acre blocks around here, and I think there might even be a couple of 2 and 3 acre blocks up on the hill. And those are worth multi-million-dollar, those places, because they're like 60 or 80 square houses on 6,000 or 7,000 square metre blocks. And so you would think that the rates would be ridiculously high, but they're not, because the rates are governed over the entire suburb, and there's some pockets of Rowville that are not great, shall we say.
The wrong side of the tracks, so to speak.
Yeah. There's a couple of areas. There's Rowville is bordered by the Dandenong Valley, and there's a lot of reserve along the Dandenong Valley. The Dandenong Creek sort of splits Rowville and Mulgrave. And there's a lot of lowland, marshland, swampland. And so you can imagine that there's a fair insect population.
Any warmer and you'd have to worry about malaria.
Yeah. It is along those lines. We have a relatively high mosquito population, and we're a couple of 100 metres in a direct line from the creek. A few 100 metres, I think, probably. Although you said a couple was 2 to 3, so probably 300 metres in a straight line, I guess, as the mozzie flies. So we have an elevated mosquito population for sure. But, the houses that are down close to that area, you would have to put measures in place. I would have thought you would have to have netting up, and you'd have to have zappers and stuff like that. Otherwise, being outside would be unbearable. On the plus side, we get some amazing dragonflies.
Cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a dragonfly in ages.
I love dragonflies. I don't know what it is about them, but I just love them.
They are a really out there, sort of unique sort of creature.
Yeah, and a real sort of powerhouse sort of a thing, you know, like hunting insects. All right. I was thinking maybe I'd start another colour, but I don't think I'll get through it. So.
No, you're running a little short on time. It's okay if you want to knock off early.
Well, I've got a fairly long conversation coming up with Ross, so what I might do is go and get myself another beverage and have something to eat.
Sensible idea.
Mm.
You can have some Vegemite and cheese on toast.
Did that yesterday.
Yeah, how was you yesterday?
I managed
relaxed?
I managed to get some headspace yesterday, yeah. So I'm feeling a bit better today. Hopefully come Monday I can face the place again. We'll see.
I think I've advised you once or twice you need to quit that place.
Yes. I'm this close to long service leave.
Ooh, yeah, okay, it might be worth holding out for.
Easter represents long service leave. And I have a certain mid-year trip to make to America, so...
Yeah, fair enough.
Just got to deal with it.
Got to stop buying yourself presents first.
No, not going to happen. Hey, I get a bonus. We have a bonus scheme in the company that I work in, and I get a... When they gave me the position change at the end of last year, my bonus percentage doubled, and I happened to be in biomed, and our company made 25% core growth last year because COVID and other associated things. Now, I don't work on the COVID side. I'm in cancer diagnostics. The interesting thing about it is a pandemic is that cancer doesn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
So there is still growth in that area. I imagine there'll be a correction in a couple of years' time when other things, balances change and things like that, but that's okay. But it just means that I should be getting a fairly reasonable sum of money in the next month or two. So a couple of presents is worthwhile.
Cancer growth.
Cancer growth? Well...
Growth in cancer.
Well, there is.
I didn't want to interrupt you just to say, come on, really?
Why?
That is the worst pun that you could have made.
Oh, right.
Growth in cancer.
Cancerous growth as opposed to growth of cancer. Well, this is your problem. It's just like as populations grow, so do diseases like that.
Yeah, it's true. This is absolutely true. People are living longer, getting more and more diseases as they do it, with more opportunity. Population's getting bigger. It's not shrinking, etc., etc.
Yep.
Cancer is a growth industry.
It is.
I'm just going to see myself out.
Yeah, and we aren't. How bad is it to say a growth opportunity?
Yeah, I think that's crossing a line.
Yeah, right. Good. On that note, thanks, Matty.
Thank you, Ted. Thoroughly enjoyable as always.
Good stuff. We'll catch you next week.
If not before.
If not before.
So, take care.